Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. CNC, Shantanu, all the faculty members. This is the audience of gurus coming together in one room. All the teachers coming in one room. Very rare hall, single hall where all the gurus are sitting. So, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to the gurus of the country. The guru has a special role in all our lives. They shape our thinking. When we go to the school first, from that day onwards, the way the graduation started happening, post-graduation happening, the research is happening, it's all the journey which has grown over the last 100 years. Earlier, school itself was a big thing when my father was doing his 10th and 12th itself was a good education to get a job. Then the graduation started happening sometime in 50s and 60s, and then post-graduation, and then the research. And now it's integrating into the research, it's integrating into entrepreneurship, and it's integrating into the industry. They are a continuous continuum which happens from a school education to the engineering education to the research, entrepreneurship, innovation, and industry. And that's where the connecting the dots comes very critical piece, that how human mind, when they are ready to come in engineering college, how do they look at engineering as a subject? Engineering is a method of teaching something which is already discovered, already well written in the books, with the boundary conditions defined, where the formulas are there, which has been discovered, where the mysteries were solved in the history. So every engineering book has enough formulas, and those formulas are the algorithms of the mystery solved using design thinking by somebody or the other at an individual level. He applied the thinking of connecting the dot, where he solved some mystery of whether Newton solved the mystery or Einstein solved the mystery or anybody who solved the mystery. Fundamentally, he looked at some mystery in the horizon, and that mystery he started looking heuristics out of it, and then make a one formula: E is equal to mc square or S is equal to ut plus half at square. These are the various permutation combinations through which he could able to arrive at that one algorithm, and which becomes the universal. And that's what we teach to the engineering student when I got to the engineering class. So when I did my engineering, so I was memorizing all those formulas, and obviously when you memorize rote learning, you get a good marks, and the marks becomes the only point, because your focus is to get a best job, and for getting a best job you need a best marks. And that's how I completed my engineering. I was talking to Dr. Shantanu, and I found some similarity where when I passed out my 11th grade, I got into pre-medical, because my elder sister was doctor and my brother was from IIT Delhi. So there were the two role models in the family itself. But since my brother was an engineer, a family wants, and we have two brothers. If one brother is an engineer, second brother should be alternate profession, which is a doctor. So I never given a thought whether I should become a doctor or a engineer. But you got in a middle class family, if you get a highest marks medical, second highest engineering, that's how the order was there in 70s and 80s. I don't know how much is relevant now, but in those years it was that. So family just said, we go to medical college. I entered pre-medical college. That time the medical college was 11 plus 1 pre-medical, and then we used to go to the medical. And after 6 months later, I found that I am somewhere at a wrong place. Why wrong place? My mind was more doing tinkering kind of a mind, and in medical sciences you can't do tinkering. And I discussed with my brother that what do I do now? Because in middle class you can't say that I don't want to do it, because it's a question of how do I didn't have the courage to tell my father that I don't want to do medical and I want to go back to engineering. It was a difficult decision. Fortunately, he supported me, and that's how I got into engineering. Then we could keep doing tinkering and entrepreneurship from 83. So I never happened to work in a formal organization. So we three partners started our entrepreneurship journey way back in 1983. From day one, I had a green card that time to go to US, but continue to stay in India to see can we do something out of India. And that was the time software was not the industry, programming was. So we used to do some programming assignments for the companies. I written some basic interpreter in 2000 bytes. That time only 2K ROM used to be there. The biggest capacity was 2K ROM. So you can burn the one time 2K ROM. So all the interpreter, basic interpreter was to be accommodated in just 2000 bytes. So optimization on hexadecimals and everything happened just because it was just 2000 bytes. You have to optimize the full interpreter with all that command set. We were fortunate that once you start with a small constraint, you find out the answers to solve the problem. Today, when our mobile phones keep on getting from 4 GB to 8 GB to 16 GB to 64 GB to 128 GB, and still it gets filled up. What we do, what we use for it, I don't know, but it always gets filled up by something or the other. So we create a lot of garbage in our storage, and sometimes when we have to look at the learnings, similarly a lot of learnings, teaching happens or learning happens. How do we, when there is a fertile soil, you have both opportunities. A good flowering plant can grow there, good seeding plant can grow there, and same time weeds also grow there. How to separate the flowers from the weeds is a role where design thinking plays a role in shaping what is relevant, what is the human desirability, how the technology, what we are learning makes it feasible, how the entrepreneurship skill or business skills make it viable, how do we solve the mysteries of the universe, mysteries for the people. So when we started looking at design thinking formally in 2007, when I was in Silicon Valley, and I found that why the Silicon Valley is so different. While the value of one company is equivalent to GDP of India. Apple, my market value today is $3 trillion. India GDP is $3.6 trillion. Just a one company. How a small company of 30,000, 40,000 people can make a difference to the world? Or equivalent to why India 1.4 billion people together generating a one kind of a value, which a few companies in Silicon Valley are doing. That phenomenon didn't happen before. It was still there. America was a big country, but that creativity of understanding human desirability happened, unstated need of the customer, the way reliability solution can be given, and that was mind-boggling to me. 2007, Apple was just starting off, iPhone was just starting off. But I could see the sign of the thinking process which goes behind innovating those products. And Indian IT industry is in order-taking space. We were I would call a software garages of the world. We maintain the software which is written by somebody else, and on the condition and terms and conditions of the people who orders us that this should be done this way, this should be done this way. Though we make money, because any arbitrage business makes money, any trading business makes money. But I was running Polaris, so we had 10,000 plus employees that time. But I found that it's good to have continuously become subservient to some other system to earn money, or to create something where we create something which give it to the world, where the world will come and buy the software from Chennai, and that's why we named our center as 8012. 8012 is the latitude and longitude of the place. We believe that unless we start putting our flag first, obviously it will take 20, 30, 40 years. When SRM was started in 87, it was not that everybody was clear that we'll be a university in 2023, 36 years it took to become a university of 60,000 students who are shaping their thinking. But we put a flag there in 2013 that 8012 is a place where people should come for financial technology. And the only tool was to change the culture of thinking. Otherwise, the same engineers which work for Infosys, TCS, Wipro, or any other services company. But the difference in West Coast is design thinking. The common differentiator was design thinking, which is there in West Coast, not in East Coast. And that's how we designed the Inspirational Center, which you have visited. So thank you for coming to our center, spending 3 days there. It was a delightful experience of hosting you and looking at it, your learnings and your questions which you raised during the workshop. So once we are able to start changing the culture of software products and we have start selling our software with a premium pricing to our global customers, premium pricing not for getting just some more money, but premium pricing to get a pride that a Indian software can be sold 20% more premium to a US software company and a European software company was a moment of pride for us. If European software company is charging a software $5 million per license, our challenge of sales team was we should be charging $6 million. And today customer says we are willing to give you a premium. And that is a moment of pride which has contributed from the design thinking center. Then 2015-16 onwards, we look at it that if we are solving a problem of the software industry and banking industry over here, how do we solve this problem further? Let's pick up a challenge which is most difficult. We pick up a rural development challenge. So one of the challenges we took it up, where is the maximum amount of suicide happening in the country? What kind of poverty is there in the country where the maximum number of suicide is happening because of the poverty? Can that problem be solved by design thinking? In 2016, we identified a place called Yavatmal. Yavatmal is comes to news only for suicide, not coming for anything else, which is so pathetic to have a country where some place known for highest number of suicide every year, which happens there. We visited there in May 2016 for 3 days trip to there to understand just the cartographic view of the place. We could understand something over here, something over there, but we found the problem statement is too big a problem statement for us to understand in just 3 days time. I committed myself to saying that let me take 3 years PhD program to learn what rural India is all about. It offers a humongous amount of learning. So we invited some 200 different NGOs for a multiple sessions. So I conducted almost like 15 different design thinking workshops, of each workshop running over the 3 days period to listen, learn from them what their experiences of contribution into the solving certain problem. So few NGOs were solving education problem, few NGOs were solving healthcare problem, few NGOs were solving agriculture problem. But listening to them together, we could able to see that this problem is a multi-variable problem. And it's like in engineering, it's a multivariate equation. It's a multivariate, multi-dimensional problem which was there. We try to identify, can I put into single chart? And we start putting a one catalyst wheel with seven rings into this. Then we start looking how do we translate that ring into doable action. And then using the design thinking tool, we start understanding patterns and anti-patterns in the development process. We start connecting the dot between patterns. So we start looking from design thinking, the framework thinking. First, how do you put into frame? So development we put into 5 frames. Frame number 1 is individual personal development. Like what we are doing in SRM, we are shaping the personal development of the engineer's mindset as a faculty. Similarly, who is there for head of village, sarpanch or president of the village? How do you educate him? How do you train him? How do you create a personal leadership for him? That was the first development block, and that's a starting block. That's preparing the soil. You can't build an industry without engineering colleges. Then we start looking D2 block social development. So social development can happen when people in the village start solving their own problem on their own. You can't solve somebody else's problem by giving them a subsidy. That was a fundamental mistake the government was doing or political system was doing. They are disabling the person to think on their own to solve their own problem by subsidizing them. And that's the first block of development, personal development block, health, second block of social development, where we break it down into the L1, L2, L3, the way you are being taught in design thinking. We use the same formula of saying D21 is education, D22 is healthcare, D23 is infrastructure, D24 is social justice. Those are the social issues. Then we look at economic problem. So we come to economic problem as a development block 3, and we say agriculture economic and non-agriculture economic, then FPO, then small health group. Then we say once you have economic problem, then we look at ecological problem. So ecological development, which is the D4 block. So once these 4 blocks are there, then we start looking D5 block, which is the institutional development. Now this D1 to D5 blocks, when it came in, then we start identifying a segment the way around 20,000 people will be the critical size on which we can influence. And we call 20,000 population, around 4,000 families, that is one cluster, and then it can consist of 3 panchayats, it can consist of 7 panchayats, depending upon the location and the topography and geography of the place. And we start deploying a team of 4 people to facilitate that. So now we are working as of now in more than 100 clusters in the country, across 10 states, from Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bihar, Tamil Nadu, UP, Assam, Andhra Pradesh, so Odisha. So now there is a science got developed where we can predict that after 12 months, what is the index? So we have a measurement index of 135 point scale, 1350 point scale, and where the development can be measured in a scientific manner. So we are at least 30% in the journey of completing a mystery to the algorithm in social and rural development. But then for this transformation, we needed educational institutions, SRMs, or where we wanted to look at it. Unless we design the thinking at a first year level, where they start doing the engineering learning to contextual learning. Whatever they are learning, India offers a huge opportunity for them for solving the problem. It's a country of 29 states, 700 districts, where each district of India, many districts of India, is bigger than the many countries of Europe. Each district is bigger than many countries. Some of the districts of 3 million people is bigger than in New Zealand as a country. We have 700 such districts to solve, and each district has a different set of problems. Unless that community of engineering is not for next 30 years, next 40 years, we need this thinking process to be there to understand the problem, because each district has unique set of resources, unique set of assets, unique set of knowledge, and unique set of problems. I'm using the problem as a 4th word, not first word, because resources, asset, knowledge is already residing in that particular district. If they start connecting those knowledge and the resources, 80% problem can be solved by their own. And that is the engineering students from this place are required to solve this problem in long run. Obviously today they may be going certain jobs, they may like to go to international jobs, US or something, but that's a finite number. 30 years from now, they have to solve, India will be bigger than US by miles to understand what problems can be solved. US is still 50 million people, we have 1.4 billion people. Dr. Anbu played a critical role in building School of Design Thinking, building a new kind of pedagogy, we found which are the international university which are doing it. Northwestern University was doing design thinking as a first year program. Berkeley is doing first year program. So few engineering we could find it out because when we are, and Dr. CMC really played a great role in influencing the faculty. I must thank Dr. CMC to believe in it, trust in us. This is a new kind of curriculum. If we have to look at it, innovation and entrepreneurship has to be connected to the industry and to the problem solving. Entrepreneurship is not about entrepreneurship of what today we see we are replicating America for entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is to understand the problem of the community around, a community in Tirunelveli, a community in Sonbhadra, a community in Chhattisgarh, in Raipur. Each community has its own problem to solve. Entrepreneurship is first step of entrepreneurship to understand what the possibility is there, what is the possibility there. And once, if we can match a engineering learning with the local learning of the village community, we can create a magic. We will create those kind of a agriculture research. In last 30 years, my frustration is all IITs, all educational institutions, so-called research, I don't see any product when I go to village. We celebrate in functions like this, a lot of research, but those research are meant for urban city, not for the rural city. Because normally we don't, our students never go to the rural city, they don't live in those environments, and we don't have a partnership with the rural community for what problems they have. We solve the problem which is solved somewhere in other part of the world, and we just want to say same drone can work in India what is working in Israel. You don't know that a farmer who doesn't have a income to 20,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees an acre, if he's earning, can he afford a drone? Can he afford an EV tractor in a village? And we create EV tractor for him, and we celebrate, oh, we created an EV tractor for agriculture farming without understanding. If you can't afford a tractor, where is the question of EV tractor to be supported in that particular part of, when there is no proper electricity there, and we are innovating EV equipments for them. So a lot of fundamental shift is required for connect, and design thinking gives that method. And Dr. Anbu Ratnaville and School of Design Thinking team, they are taking pain to introduce design thinking in IIM Calcutta. Because one part is engineering, second part is management, and if both of them, so this year, first year program of IIM Calcutta, 100 students opted as an elective for design thinking, and every weekend Dr. Anbu and Ramki are traveling to Calcutta to teach them. It's a big commitment for them, for going for multiple weeks, week after week, for introducing design thinking in management. A small shift in the culture, if management school students start thinking beyond banking jobs and the investment jobs and start really solving the problem. The third thing will be healthcare institutions. We have to approach healthcare institutions to apply design thinking to solve connecting our traditional medicines to the energy healing medicine systems, to the modern research, genetic research, understanding what the root causes of problems are there. As of now, symptomatic treatment is phenomenally got developed in modern medicine. But a lot of energy sciences, neurosciences, the thought sciences still are sitting in a separate quadrant, and they are sitting in a separate quadrant, and there's a lot of opportunity of connecting the dot in those areas. But I think that's the biggest nut to crack to change healthcare medical system for introducing design thinking. But we'll make an attempt to make some shift in it. And then we need to look at how do we connect arts colleges, humanities into engineering. Today we teach humanities in engineering colleges, but they are not connected to each other. We as a student, when we enter the college, we do humanity course only because it's compulsory. I don't think we connect it, the relevance of economics for engineering. We teach economics, we teach civics, we teach literature. Industry needs so much of a storytelling of all the problem solving we do, which literature can connect. Our engineers are so poor in telling stories, even making a presentation, which is a fundamental part of humanity. Humanity teaches us to express ourselves in it, what our thoughts are. How do we connect that environment of learning between humanities from social sciences, psychology? Because when you have to understand unstated need of the customer, it's all about psychology. When you say persona mapping, empathy mapping, what one thing is being done in this, all of you have done along with School of Design Thinking, Dr. Shantanu, you design now the questioning mindset. The faculty book I saw yesterday, the student book I saw yesterday, I found there at least hundreds of questions in those books. And during my engineering days, nobody asked so many questions in the first year of my engineering. They only told, do this. They never asked me questions. Now, culture of asking questions is the first step of connecting some problem getting visible to me. If I don't know the questions, right questions, framing the right question is the first step of germinating the right kind of ideas on a good soil. And that role of engineering colleges or any education institution is to prepare the soil. It depends on the student to pick it up whether he wants to be a flowering plant or a tall tree or want to be a fruiting plant. Whatever he wants to choose. Our role is to prepare a good soil on which it's a fertile soil to think the new ideas, new thinking process, and that shaping of the thinking process guided by the expertise in a particular subject of computer science or electrical engineering or mechanical engineering or civil engineering, which gives the expertise. But building a perspective and context becomes a contextual learning. Before coming, I had a few questions over here to ask faculty since you are teaching. What I observed in education since I'm a chairperson of IIIT Ranchi, and I'm working with it's a new institute, 7-year-old institute. I ask the same question to them. Sometimes our faculties are becoming siloed themselves. The electrical engineering faculty never meets, mechanical engineering faculty never meets computer science faculty. I don't know, SR may be much better institute than that, but many institutes have seen they have their own small silos. Humanities and engineering college faculty never meets. They believe each other we are in different world. How do you create a common open learning platform and forum where we can have a monthly exchange of thought across the faculty? Can we create those open learning forum or platform outside the own boxes of discipline? I know we want to become expert and more expert, but to generate ideas and perspective, we need some more questions to come in our mind, and these sharing forums can be created. If something can be created where every month 2-hour session across multiple faculty, if that could be possible. Sometimes students among themselves are not across the disciplines. Sometimes they don't have a exchange of thought or exchange of ideas, exchange of expression. Can we create some forum for them to exchange ideas? The clubs are there, every institution has a club, but learning boards or learning, because most of the innovation can come, which is the cross discipline. And that will be the next level of design thinking. I know it will take some time, but since I have a opportunity to talk to you together as a group, when we are looking at design thinking to be taught to the student, It's more than teaching. It's more of a designing a culture of learning among the students, where we are encouraging questions, we are encouraging collaborations, we are encouraging connecting the dots, and connecting the dots is ideas. When I say in design center, you must have looked at it. The idea is just connecting the dot in a new pattern. Complete e-commerce, billion-dollar industry comes by just connecting the dot. Mail order business was there before that. Somebody says, can I place an order online? Just placing an order online. All the processes are same for supplying of the product. But placing an order online, one connect dot created a multi-billion-dollar industry. When a motor is running horizontally, somebody thinks that motor can run vertical, create an elevator. When Honda asks the question that whether we are looking fuel efficiency versus energy efficiency, what is the what is the purpose of the existence of an automobile? Is it a fuel efficient car or an energy efficient car? The whole hybrid thinking process evolved. I think many possibilities are there which we are untapped if we can connect the dots across disciplines, across knowledge circles, across expertise which can come together, and how it can be vertically aligned from student to teacher to the research scholars. I think that's a culture shift. You can be the cultural change agent for. Fortunately, SRM is one institute where you have medical college in the same place, you have engineering college, you have humanities. Very few places are there where all the disciplines are existing within the system, and that is the power of bringing them together in some shape and form. I know it's very, very difficult challenge, but these are the questions I'm just leaving with you. Thank you.